happy Wednesday, or for us, happy second day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? Happy second day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? First of all, we want to give honor to the Most High God, right? The Lord God of heaven, the great God that keepeth covenants and mercies for them that love him and observe his commandments. And then to our King, our Prince, our Savior, Apostle, and High Priest of our profession, whom the Father used to reconcile us back to the Father. Some know him as Jesus. We refer to him in his Hebrew name as Yahushai. All right. And then all that's with us, gather with us, whether you're an elder, mother, brother, sister, children, those online, as the scripture says, the partakers of the heavenly calling. We thank God for each and every one of you. All right. All right, beloved, we are going to be starting a new book. All right. We are going to read the story of Tobit. All right. We're just going to do chapter 1 today. Okay. Just going to do chapter 1 today. So Tobit chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 1. Brother Kai, you read today, or you want me just to read? I'm not sure if
I
you
read.
you want to read. Okay. All right.
The book of the words of Tobit, son of Tibiel, the son of Eniel, the son of Adul, the son of Gabriel, of the seed of Esiel, of the tribe of Naphtali, who in the time of Ebenezer, king of the Assyrians, was led captive out of Thesbe, which is at the right hand of that city, which is called properly Naphtali in Galilee, above Asher.
Okay. So we look at this. This is the time of a captivity, right? Very important to understand. This is during a time of captivity, right? And they say that nope, I'm about to go ahead of myself. All right. But he's of the tribe. We're gonna get it. He's dealing with the tribe of Naphtali. Okay. I'm gonna give a passage to where we can even link this to. But let's do the next two verses. Let me see. Yeah. Assyrians, which was led out of captive. Yeah. All right. Let's do the next two verses.
Verse 3 and 4. I, Tobit, had walked all the days of my life in the ways of truth and justice, and I did many alms deeds to my brethren and my nation who came with me to Nineveh in the land of the Assyrians. And I was in my own country, in the land of Israel, being but young. All the tribe of Naphtali, my father, fell from the house of Jerusalem, which was chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, that all the tribes should sacrifice there, where the temple of the habitation of the Most High was consecrated and built for all ages.
All right. So this is where, Brother Kai, I know you read this book, so if you have anything, you can chime in as well. So Tobit had walked all the days of my life in the way of truth and justice. So in other words, what does that mean? Doing the commandments, right? So I've been abiding this all my life. And I did many alms deed to my brethren. Okay. So giving out alms, and because alms is even something the Most High approve of, right? To help one another. Because when we talk about love, that's what love is about, helping thy fellow neighbor. Okay. All right. Verse 4. And when I was in my own country in the land of Israel, all right, being but young, all the tribe of Naphtali, listen to this, all the tribe of Naphtali, my father fell from the house of Jerusalem. Okay. So you have to know a little bit of what's history. It's in the scriptures. When did all the tribe of Naphtali fall out? All right. From the house of Jerusalem, which was chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, that all the tribes should sacrifice there. So you talk about this specific place. There was a place anointed and sanctified for us to go and sacrifice, all right, at that location. That's what we were supposed to be doing as Israel. We're supposed to go to that location and be sacrificing, doing those things. That's where the Most High have sanctified it, all right? Sanctified Jerusalem for that and consecrated for it to be there, okay? Particularly, what's there? The temple. Okay, the temple was there, and that's the place, the house of the Most High, have set apart for us to go when we're doing the sacrifices. Let's hold this and find the proof. Okay, what are you talking about? Because just jumping into it, you might not know what the heck you're talking about. Nineveh and Naphtali fell out. All right, let's go to 1 Kings chapter 12. Sometimes story reiterate each other too. So like definitely when you go like now we talk about the gospel, you see something Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. When you're dealing with Kings and Chronicles, sometimes you'll see the same thing. So sometimes it's good to look at both, get a fuller picture sometimes. All right. We're not going to when we go about the I forgot what lesson it is, maybe all about Israel or something, or the great split. When I do the great split, we deal with this story a little more in detail. Okay, but we're not going to do that today. 12, which one I want? Let me see. So basically, you have to understand it's dealing with Solomon's son, right? This is where the kingdom kind of got rent. When David was king, all the 12 tribes were submissive unto David. Then when you got Solomon, all 12 tribes were there. And then with his son, it was a split. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. They fell off. So we're going to see. Let's do 12 and let's just go to 19. 12 and 19.
So Israel rebelled against the house of David until this day.
Okay. So once again, we seeing what Israel as a whole because it was split up. I'm gonna let y'all know it was Judah and it was like everybody else. They split. So the house of Judah, of course, they would stay behind what their how you put it like that. But the king was Judah, right? You think of David's line, Solomon's line, that's Judah. So of course, as of your tribe going to back you up. Definitely, if you was king, you came from that tribe. It's kind of that kind of prestige that go with it. Even though they're all Israel, sometimes you'll back them, right? So they stayed there. They supported, Solomon. But a lot of other ones didn't like what he did. Okay, and they were splitting from him. All right. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. So this was what we will call almost a civil war. All right. This was in-house warring against each other, Israel against Israel. Okay. And we see the split happen when you got the house of Judah and the house of Israel, but technically they're all Israelites. All right. They split them up because the kingdom split. So of course you separate the names so you know the difference. Okay. So 1 Corinthians 12, First Kings 12, we read 19, read 20 for us.
And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation and made him king over all Israel. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only.
See, all right. So when they split, right, only Judah followed him, right? And the other ones went. So it was one, and then what? It's a total of 12 tribes, so 11 went the other way. Okay. As you keep going, we won't go through it today, but a little bit after it, we see Benjamin actually linked up with Judah. Okay. Benjamin linked up with Judah when you go through it. All right. And then eventually after that, Levi went under there. And I'm talking about as a tribe. Certain people, you have certain people from different tribes go there, but as a tribe, an old tribe, right? The majority of it, it was Benjamin. It was Judah. This is why I got House of Judah or Jews, right? But Benjamin linked up with them, and then eventually Levi linked up with them. Okay. So this is why think about Paul, he's a Jew, but what tribe was he from? He was from Benjamin. All right. So they were mixed in with Judah. All right. They will still be considered Jews because they went under basically the submission of that house. And then Levites came, and this is why what? You got the Pharisees and certain things like that. You have certain ones that what? The priesthood. Okay. And that should have been a kind of a sign to let you know, God was with them as well. All right. Because remember, you needed the Levites to do the works in the house of the Lord. You can't just have anybody. So when they fell back, You should have been a little bit of sign that you see what those that were doing right, you will go kind of reference, and you have to reference the Levites when it comes to the temple stuff. Okay. All right, that was 20. Jump down. Just want to show I'm going a little bit wild too. Let's see. Let's jump down to verse 28.
You scroll down. Let me see.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Verse 28. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold, thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
And this is where they started committing, we could say spiritual fornication, but they started dealing with idolatry. Yes, this was the house of Israel, not Judah with them. It's the house of Israel started setting these kind of things up. Okay. You can read verse 29.
And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan.
So he made it a convenient spot so people would not have to go to Jerusalem. Oh, no, you don't have to go there. Go here. Go these things. All right. These are the things that led you out of Egypt, which we know, right? We know, well, when we go through the wilderness, you're going to see, we already know that's a big no-no. But you see, if you don't remember your past and remember this history stuff, you fail to repeat it. Okay. You're going to repeat those things sometimes, right? So you need to understand that's why history is so important. Okay, we need to learn from it. But apparently, right, this king and his people, they just went off. Okay. Let's keep reading 31.
And he made an house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi.
All right. So once again, I'm just showing that because this is why there's a reason why the Levites came back. All right. Remember, Levi inheritance was what? Doing the work of the Most High. They're the priest and everything. But what he did, he replaced them. He just grabbed people. Oh, yeah, y'all can be priests now. Okay. You see the same kind of spirit now. Okay. We just trying to make anything, teachers and priests. No, it's order when it comes to the Most High. Okay. So remember, it was Judah and Benjamin. And then when this happened, they started replacing the priests. I don't got to do nothing. What the heck? I don't got my job. This is my job. They replacing me. Right. So they fell back to Judah. And of course, Judah put them to where they're supposed to be. Okay. So this was, once again, the Most High still kind of showing, his mercy and everything, even showing that he's going to be with Judah, because still the promise was with the house of David and them to be ruling. All right. Let's go back to Tobit. All right. So if you're looking for Naphtali, specifically, you don't have to look at it. Remember, all the tribes went except for Benjamin and Levi. All right. So this is where he's talking about in verse 4. Read that verse 4 again. Now that everybody should know.
And when I was in my own country, in the land of Israel, being but young, all the tribe and the mentality, my father fell from the house of Jerusalem.
They left because they split. Remember, all of them went to now the house of Israel. They split from what he's supposed to be.
Which was chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, that all the tribes should sacrifice there, where the temple of the habitation of the Most High was consecrated and built for all ages.
All right, because remember they said we're going to sacrifice here in Bethel and sacrifice here in Dan. All right. Once again, it's not the Most High don't make it hard to show you when somebody's off, beloved. He don't make it a mystery. Wow. He don't want to make things hard. He desired that we all be saved. So he makes these things clear. When you see people do things clearly against the scriptures, it's clear so you can know. Nah, that ain't who I sent. Okay. Yes, they were Israel, beloved. They were Israel, but that didn't make them right alone. It's only powerful when we obey. Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 5. Now all the tribes which together revolted, and the house of my father Naphtali sacrificed unto the heifer Baal. But I alone went often to Jerusalem at the feast, as it was ordained unto all the people of Israel by an everlasting decree, having their first fruits and tenths of increase, with that which was first shown. And then gave I at the altar to the priests, the children of Aaron.
So when we look at this, beloved, all right. Now all the tribes which together revolted, so this is when they all went against Judah. They actually going to fight the Most High. Kind of stopped it. All right. Well, not kind of, he did stop it. All right. In the house of my father Naphtali, all right, because he told you what tribe he was from, sacrifice unto the heifer Baal. All right. Heifer dealing with the calf, beloved, not kind of how we think about calling women heifers. All right. It's a cow. Okay. So remember, it's the golden calf that he set up and saying, these what sent this out, right? Same thing our forefathers did in Exodus. So that's what it's dealing with. All right. So sacrifice to Baal. Verse 6 is dealing with Jerusalem at the feast, as was ordained by the people of Israel for everlasting decree. All right. So you're supposed to go there. You can't just set up where you want to. That's where you're supposed to go for that, according to the law. Having the first fruits and tenths of increase, that which was first shorn. Remember, we will grab the increase of our agriculture, right? All those kind of things. And then gave I at the altar to the priests, the children of Aaron, because what? That is their inheritance. Okay. So this is why it's so powerful, because he's not, right? He wasn't the house of Judah per se. He wasn't Judite, he wasn't Benjamin, he wasn't Levi. But if you mean to do well, what happened? You're going to do well. And you see what's in his heart and his spirit to do right. He knew they rebelled. Yeah, he's not even covering up. Yep, we revolted. Yep, we did this. Okay? Because when you get a point that you really want to serve God, you don't care about the mistakes. You can, yep, I did that. Because I'm focused on being right now. Okay? All right, let's read 7 and 8 as well. I'm sorry, anybody have anything? All right, we'll keep going, because there's some stuff I'm doing independent research with some of the tithe stuff. Because I've been here about 3 tithes and all that stuff, but I don't fully know how to break it down. So stay tuned maybe for that in the future. All right, 7 and 8.
The first tenth part of all increase I gave to the sons of Aaron, who ministered at Jerusalem. Another tenth part I sold away and went and spent it every year at Jerusalem. And the third I gave unto them to whom it was meet, as Deborah, my father's mother, had commanded me, because I was left an orphan by my father.
And while I'm looking at it, because you see, like, it's tied this, and then tied to this, and then tied to this. So I know 10% and this and that. I don't want to be saying something where it's not correct. So we look at the increase, the first increase you give to Aaron, but when you understand it, we give it to the Most High, but he's saying they're my inheritance, so they will get it. Okay. And then another 10 part I sold away. So this is where you'll see it, beloved. Some people kind of practice it today, right? They will come and they'll make the Passover, big event. And sometimes you'll have certain people, or you have with a bunch of people selling, area, the proper term for it. But yeah, vendors, right? Sometimes they'll have a building, they'll have certain vendors or whatever, and they will come, and some people might be selling, clothes or jewelry or CDs, whatever, and they'll go buy. So the Most High part of the tithes, we will go, right? And we will go and actually, he said, listen, you enjoy it. If you want this, go and get it. You want this, go and get it. And we're spending it right at Jerusalem for this feast. Okay? So this is what I talk about the tithe. People are like, oh, just get, like, no, it was part of something where we actually will bring it, right? First of all, so you can get to Jerusalem, but also you enjoy it there, right? That's why I say it's supposed to be a great time. We understand it. It's not extra money. This is money that we pushing aside for the tithes. Okay? So you was using it to enjoy yourselves. Look how good God is. Okay? So he sold away, went and spent it every year at Jerusalem. Also, you look at it as what? What also this doing? Right? I'm going there and I'm spending it there. What's powerful about that, beloved? What's the Most High trying to be sharing as well, dealing with finance or economically? economically. What's the point about going somewhere and spending the money there? What does that do?
It keeps the funds within Israel.
And it boosts it, right? I mean, I can do the same thing, right? The Super Bowl. Is the Super Bowl in the same spot every year, beloved? No.
No.
No. Things that are good as are, no. But them cities, oh, they will want the Super Bowl every year. Why? Because it boosts up that economy a lot in that area. That's $1 million business move. When they bring the Super Bowl and everything there, because what? Everybody coming and what are they doing? Spending there. And it boosts that up. So with Jerusalem, right? Because we scattered, we all over the place, right? We all coming there with our tithes and everything. What happened? And we putting the money right back in there and it's stimulating that what? That city. And we can take the same principle because this is where I say the Bible has different things. You got to tap into it. It got a lot of financial things as well. We just sometimes overlook it. All right. But the Most High was still in there. No, stimulate it. Well, Jerusalem be a blessed spot. You bringing all your stuff there, do it and then enjoy it. Now, here you go. No. And we can do that, beloved. Like I said, I know we few in numbers, but there's some things we can look forward to and push forward to. Some people got gifts. You might have certain crafts and certain things, right? This will be a time. Maybe we have something where we make it a long event and you got vendors and people get to buy certain things. And it's what? Helping and staying in our community, okay? We should do it where we're benefiting the people of God, right? That's one of my ultimate kind of dreams, I would say, with it, visions with it, is that we have that. All right, because people got gifts, people got talents, and the Most High puts together so we can use and exchange each other's talents and wisdom and things like that. Okay. All right, let's keep going. All right. So the way is spent it every year at Jerusalem. And I love this next part, verse 8 and 9.
And the third I gave unto them to whom it was meet, as the bore of my father's mother had commanded me, because I was left an orphan by my father. Furthermore, when I was come to the age of a man, I married Anna of my own kindred, and of her I begat Tobias.
All right. So once again, the third of his tithes, he did what? I gave it unto whom it was met. All right. Why? Because he had a righteous, seemed like a righteous, my father's mother, my grandmother, had commanded me because I was left an orphan by my father. So she didn't forget. All right. And you see, I mean, we see stuff like that. You got orphans and, people, the churches sometimes push some of the orphans. And we don't want to get too expounded. Yes, there is some horror stories about, definitely, the Catholic Church kind of takes a lot of the flack for it, right? They push, they do a lot of, they help some orphans, but, they didn't take advantage. But beloved, we got to make sure we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? We'll do something like that. Just make sure you being focused on what you're doing with it, okay? But yes, it's always important with tithes to help, okay? Even we talking about how can we help others with it, okay? Because this is the principal teachings of what the Most High wants, beloved. This is why I say we doing things righteous, it won't be as bad as we think. Right? It's going in the right spots, taking care of them. Okay. So once again, something to always think about and think about others is always something that should be reinforced and acknowledged. Okay, when we go over it. All right, became a man, married. Okay. Anybody got anything they want to add to what we went over so far? So you're about to just kind of read through the next parts. All right. Let's keep going, brother. Let's keep going.
10. And when we were carried away captives to Nineveh, all my brethren, those that were of my kindred, did eat of the bread of the Gentiles. But I kept myself from eating because I remembered God with all my heart.
All right. And what happens, beloved? You get taken captive, and what you start doing? Start doing things of the nations. Okay, particularly eating. Okay, so he like, listen, when we got taken, man, a lot of my kids, a lot of my folks, they started doing what? Eating the bread of the Gentiles. But he said, what? I kept myself from eating. I didn't indulge in that because what? I remember God with all my heart. What do you mean I remember God? I remember the message. I remember the law and the commandments that he gave to me. I kept it in my forefront. This is what we say. It can't be, it got to be in you, beloved. See, when it's in you, it don't matter where you're going. Some people, and like I said, when I understand it, some people are at a weaker level, right? And a lot of times they need certain things because they're at that level. And then as you grow, right, certain things you'll realize, okay, this I need, I should be able to do without, all right? But we don't want to destroy people that are at a lower level with this thing, right? So why I'm saying that is because with this, they should all know they can't eat it, right? But some people can kind of live disciplined when they're around other disciplined people. But then when they go and they don't have that support system and all those things, sometimes they're weak and they will just indulge in what everybody else doing, the crowd's doing. Okay. This is why I'm saying those that are strong, we're supposed to encourage. All right. We're supposed to uplift those that's weaker, not despise them, not say, oh, well, you're just weak. You just want to be a sin. Like, no, you try to lift them up. Okay. And this is why with certain things, and I used to talk to some people about it because they, oh, church, you don't need to destroy the church, and it ain't about the church. It's like, I get what you're saying, right? But also, some people where you can get to that level where it's not all about the church, absolutely, right? We know it ain't about the building, but also that can help a lot of people out. Sometimes, beloved, the change of scenery, it does things. I don't care if you want to admit it or not. Sometimes when you in your house, and then it's a Saturday, it's like I'm still in my house, right? And sometimes some people can make that transition. Sometimes like it's home, right? But sometimes when you have to physically get up, you gotta change your attire, and you're going to that building. It brings a different. I'm going to church, kind of bring that focal point. All right, that don't make a person weak. Sometimes that's just how things work. Okay, but we want to make sure we build off of that. This time and age, even how we're dealing with it, we're doing it through Zoom to the internet. Some people can do it. Some people it's hard. Okay. But at the end of the day, like I said, some of us are strong and can take it and deal with it. Some people, it can be real difficult. And sometimes we want to encourage them as well. But we want to make sure I always try to teach where we try to be understanding of people. But not, make sure it's clear, but we're not condoning any behavior that's going against the scripture or anything like that. Okay? It is better to be an house, it's better to be whatever than just going out and saying, well, I need to go to a church. Because no, you got to understand what the scripture is. Is that a church? I had to talk to some people about that because they throw out that church thing so loosely. You have to make sure it's designed how the scripture's saying it. Just because somebody put, say it's a house of God or whatever, that don't make it a house of God. And us that season, we should know that. Okay? So we don't get caught up in just a building. No, it has to be truth dwelling in there. Remember, it's a spirit got to be in that thing to make it truly a house of God. All right. All right. But that's another conversation. Where we at, brother?
Verse 13.
Okay. Let's keep going.
And the Most High gave me grace and favor before Ebenezer, so that I was his purveyor. And I went into Media and left in trust with Gabriel, the brother of Gabarius, at Regis, a city of Media, 10 talents of silver. Now, when Ebenezer was dead, Sennacherib his son reigned in his stead, whose estate was troubled, that I could not go into Media.
All right. So you'll see some of the language and the names kind of, switch over when we're dealing with certain things from, Hebrew to the Greek and things like that. But we should know that, talk Sennacherib and all that stuff. we probably identify and remember some of those names. All right. But let's keep going. Verse 16.
And in the time of Ebenezer, I gave many alms to my brethren and gave my bread to the hungry.
Once again, seeing his heart. And when we deal with giving and everything, that's a reflection of your heart, right? So the importance of give, what kind of spirit wants to give? That's a loving spirit, all right? The Most High was trying to show us that through what? The law. But I want you to understand why he was mandating certain things, beloved. All right? Mandating it until you can get to the point where it's not mandated. I'm just doing it, right? Think about when you have children. Sometimes you got to mandate certain things, right? You got to share. You can share. No, share. And you might force it. Why? Because you want to get them to a level where what? They're just sharing. It's not meant to have to, oh, you got to share. You know, it ain't to be a thing where you look at the Lord like, oh my God, I got to share. It's so you can what? That spirit can grow into you, where you're a sharing individual. You're worrying about others over you. I don't always understand that. Even looking at when I was putting notes together, even when I was doing with tithes, I'm realizing, wow, it's actually a thing to reflect. They said, Lord, you did this for me. I understand that. I value that. Right? When you're giving to your fellow neighbor, the Most High takes that as what? It's like you're doing to me. People don't understand. Oh, I got to get that. No, you're supposed to be doing good to people. When you're helping people, the Most High is looking at that. Because that's showing what? Your spirit in your heart. So everything we doing, beloved, all these things, don't think it's in vain. The Most High is looking at that. You being nice to that brother. You being nice to that sister. It ain't just giving. Don't think it's just monetary or, substance. It could just be, being encouraged to them. I love you, sis. I love you, bro. All those things. This is what the Most High wants. He desired us. This is what Israel is supposed to be, a rest. Not just sleep and rest. Not a rest for just your enemies, but at that point, that's the big one. You're getting a rest. Not of just the nations, the enemies, but a rest from just dealing with so many things we deal with in this world. The betrayal, the backbiting, right? The savagery, the selfishness, all those things. Most High is giving these laws so we don't have that kind of spirit within us. Think about relationships, beloved, where both parties are thinking about the other person more than themselves. How do you think those relationships are going to work? This is what I'm talking about, the unity of the spirit, beloved. Think about everybody on here, we're thinking about the other person needs and their wants and their, we thinking about that over our own. Think about how good it is. Think of how loving that will be. And not just what I can get. What I can get from the situation. What I can take from that person. This is what the Most High wants from us. And he's trying to reflect that. Even when we read, right, ministering is to serve. Serving others. He's been trying to teach us this. If I can get the leaders to buy into that, then hopefully, right, those that are looking at the leaders will follow that same suit. And this is why it's so good, beloved. And this is where we're in a unique position, right? She's limited with numbers, but listen, we can put so much emphasis, beloved. If we all be on one accord, then as those come in, they're going to what? They should submit right to what we're doing. So this is why I say count on everybody. We all need to be one accord with this. Loving and being kind. That feast day was beautiful. It was beautiful. You can feel the love. You can feel it. Anybody feel there was some animosity? Somebody didn't like each other. Like you didn't feel that at the feast. How many times can you go to places and it's not stuff like that? Some kind of trauma and this and that. You felt free. This is what the Most High desire for us every day. Right? You can leave something there. You have to worry about nobody stealing. Somebody doing. This is how it's supposed to be, beloved. With the Most High help, we want to be that example. People come in, they can see it like, man, how is everybody happy? How is everybody just working together? Because, beloved, as we see, it's a group effort. There was things I was forgetting. Somebody else was picking. Oh, I did this. I did. You just see it working together for good. Everybody just moving as one. Nobody trying to outshine nobody else. It's a beautiful thing. And I can only envision the scriptures when the Queen of Sheba came to Solomon saying, man, the half haven't been told. All your servants is just they just seem like they're happy in a good spirit. Not used to this. This is what the Spirit of God can do. This is what we saying. This source of knowledge of how we do things come from the scriptures. And if people can see this and we continue the Spirit going, people look at it and say, I want to be a part of that. I ain't never experienced that. Love it. Some of us got family. We sometimes can't do the family union. We can't do certain things, right? Because sometimes it's some mess. Even our jobs get some mess. Where do we get rest from all that, beloved? When the people of God come together. The what? Holy convocation. It's the difference between a gathering and a holy gathering. A holy gathering, there's peace, there's joy, there's gentleness, there's meekness. Okay? All right. Let me stop talking so much. Brother Kai, where we at?
Verse 17.
All right, let's read it.
And my clothes to the naked, and if I saw any of my nation dead or cast about the walls of Nineveh, I buried him. And if the king Sennacherib had slain any when he was come and fled from Judea, I buried them privily. For in his wrath he killed many, but the bodies were not found, when they were sought for of the king. And when one of the Ninevites went and complained of me to the king, that I buried them and hid myself, understanding that I was sought for to be put to death, I withdrew myself for fear.
All right. So he's seen this, and what he would do, he would bury them. Okay. People getting laid out, they slain all over the place. What's the honorable thing? What's the loving thing, right? Look at that. Love thy neighbor as thyself. You wouldn't want somebody body just exposed and sitting there just rotting, right? You want to bury them. Okay. So what was he doing? He was secretly, burying his brothers and sisters. All right. So you can see the kind of heart and decency this brother have. Okay. Same thing. We should have that same kind of spirit. All right. But he got found out, and what happened? He had to withdraw himself, for fear, because they was going to kill him. Okay. All right, finish it up.
Then all my goods were forcibly taken away, neither was there anything left of me, beside my wife Anna and my son Tiberius. And there passed not 55 days before two of his sons killed him, and they fled into the mountains of Arath, Salakia, and Sachitinus, his son, reigned in his stead, who appointed over his father's accounts and over all his affairs Archius, my brother Enanel's son. And Archius entreated for me, I returned to Nineveh. Now Archius was cupbearer and a keeper of the signet, and steward, and overseer of the accounts, and Sachitinus appointed him next unto him, and he was my brother's son.
So, all in all, even though he was kicked out, right, and he was hiding fear of death, basically the Most High made a way, all right, and that king had to be taken down, all right. So we see how the sons kind of went and took him down. you have a new leader. Sometimes with new leaders come new rules and regulations. And he has somebody what? What's the word? Pleading on his behalf. All right. So when that happened, he was able to come back. All right. He was able to come back. Remember, but he lost everything, below. That's why I say standing for the truth and doing what's right. Ain't always everything blossomed at the end. Yes, things work together for good. But like I said, he wasn't looking at that and saying, well, I'm gonna get restored or anything like that. But he lost his goods. All he had is his wife and kid. Okay. So something to think about when you stay on death, don't always look at how it looks, because somebody can look like, oh man, he lost everything. He just got his wife and kid. How they gonna survive? But no, he was, the Most High seen that. Okay. And he was able to come back in. We're gonna leave it there. We'll leave it there. And next week we can tackle the next chapter. We'll see. Maybe even 2 chapters, because 14 verses. So we'll see. Okay. So we will end it there. I will say